Islamism. I'm going to open us up with the Moorish Maker prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through His Holy Prophet, Drew Ali. Ameen. First, all rise, giving perfect and infinite praises to Allah, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Honors to divine prophets and minor prophets, starting with the major prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. Honors to all minor prophets, prophets I have not mentioned. Honors to the forerunner of Jesus, which is Prophet Noble Drawley return. Honors to his forerunner, who is Marcus Messiah Garvey Bailey, John the Baptist return. Honors to the UNIA that started in 1914, the past leaders. And honors to them for their hard and good work. Honors to Prophet Noble Drawley, Moorish Science of America, 1913-80, past, present, and future leaders. Honors to everything that is Moorish. Honors to everything that's related to the harbingers who have paved the way for their children to be Moorish Americans who are doing uplifting works. Islam. Today's show is, what are you chasing? There are people who are out of their minds and they're out of their true capacity of their true self and chasing things of the fad of luxury, such as the Tesla, the new Bugatti, and all this other stuff, and and the BMWs, and all the Mercedes, trying to have the ladies up in there. Is things that people try so hard to be something that they're not, to cover up the void in their life, which is not being yourself and not being anything that's related to anything uplifting, and taking yourself to a level that you're chasing after carnal things, but you're losing yourself, and no matter how much you try to impress people, you still have a void in your life to have things that you see other people have, and you have the gimmies and the wantonness and all these things of that nature, but yet and still you lose yourself trying to impress people, but you lose on what's more important in trying to better your condition and better humanity, and starting with the man in the mirror and looking at yourself and all this and all that. So we have to be very careful on things that we accept and the foes that we take upon, the things that lure us in, and you're just a scavenger fish capturing the wrong bait and you in the wrong pond at the same time. Therefore, you lose sight of the goal of what you want to do in life to better yourself. But at the end of the day, you're not nowhere even anywhere close, because your FICO score is all messed up. You can't get an apartment. You can't do this. You can't do that. So all in all, you're just sitting here trying to figure out how do you better your condition. You're crying internally, constantly in pain because you made the wrong decisions. You've hurt yourself. You harm yourself by trying to surround yourself with people who are your friends, and all they're doing is being a bunch of scavenger leeches, and they're just sucking you dry until the point where you don't even know who you are no more, and your morals just left and just went out the door. You wouldn't be balling out of control. You wouldn't play the game called Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent, of the whole GU not thing. You got to really be really far away from society and living under a rock to not understand that the conditions that you're going through is all about you accepting things that you have no idea what you're signing yourself up for. and you set yourself up for failure, but society is the one that's teaching you that here in the United Snakes Corporation. Yeah, I said it, United Snakes Corporation. Corporate is a dead entity. And no matter what, they're going to do everything they can to swindle you out of whatever and come up with a new next best thing. A new plasma screen TV where you could do it with your phone and all that. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but you could watch, instead of having a TV, you can have your phone and have your phone reflect the screen off the wall or whatever, and you can watch a movie from there all through your phone, and your phone be like fully charged and stuff, and get all these crazy gimmicks and stuff, and all these crazy fads. It'd be great if they could just bring back the afros and stuff, because your brother man Morris Life is definitely rocking an afro. But I choose not to dwell into things that of the carnal. Yeah, I don't drive the new car and all this other stuff. I don't want the headache. For what? Let alone the insurance is high, your car payment is high, and then you got to pay annual registration, and then you got to pay rent. How you going to afford a Tesla? How you going to afford a Maserati, a Bugatti, and a Lamborghini, and you're following after these celebrities because they think they got it going on? So they trying to show you the way how to do it, but all it is just demonized. What are you doing to benefit yourself? What are you doing to benefit your benefit your condition? Living in an apartment, but you don't want to. You're too afraid to go dap into trying to get an apartment complex, and then you ran out to people where you just collect the dollars. But no, you don't want to do that. No, not at all. Why? Because you're not thinking outside the box. On land, I never heard of a black person on land. Not in this day and time. Anytime they tell black people on land, shoot, here comes the segregation. They want to kick everybody out of Oklahoma. The whole so-called black town even. You know what I mean? But yet and still, we got ones out there who don't even care anymore. The ones are just shut up to the wayside and just lost their consciousness. But yet and still, they lost their minds with society. Society is what dictates the minds what they should do. And then listen to this crappy music and eating this crappy food and, drinking all this crazy water was what reason why people were going nuts. They can't even drive a car properly. Not to mention they be running red lights and trying to hit people intentionally to get the insurance money. Yeah, I said it, and I meant to. But yet and still, who cares? As long as the people get a nice big $100,000 check, they can go ahead and do as they please and blah, 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 blah. I say all this scamming, you're going to reap what you sow. And I really mean that wholeheartedly. People can sit here and dictate and say this and say that. Talking about this is your hood, you tag this hood up and all this other stuff. And yeah, but what property do you own in that neighborhood? Oh, okay. So that's not your hood then. Ones are gangbanging numbers and people's European last names, but yet still they have no idea. But I don't know what to say with these young people, the ones who are just straight faulty and salty. A lot of these ones don't even want to be responsible. They want to get up and put their money together and do something positive. Instead of trying to get the most expensive ride, get something that you could afford and then build on that. That's what you do. I don't care what these ones are talking about. Well, at least this much. I don't have to make monthly payments. But everything has a consequence to what good you do, to what harm you do, what evil you do. Being a humanitarian, it all comes with a price. Fame costs, as Debbie Allen said in Fame. Fame costs. Being like it's going to cost you your life, whether you want to accept it or not. It's going to cost you your life. There are people out there who want to get land, but they still worried about that doggone 40 acres and 50 acres and a mule. They still worried about that. I ain't worried about that. I'm going to get my land regardless. I don't care. So now what are you doing to better your condition? Are you just sitting around doing nothing with your life? Just because you're underpaid and you don't make enough doesn't mean that you can't make certain things work for you. Because almost anything is possible. You gotta do what you gotta do to make it, to live. I'm not talking about prostitution and all that. I'm talking about the real deal. Sometimes it's not even worth having two or three jobs. So at this point in life, you gotta make a decision on what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. There are plenty of opportunities out there. Don't listen to these politicians talking about whatever rhetoric and falsehood they want to lie about. We all gotta be held accountable for what we do in our actions. So the question you want to ask yourself is, what constructive thing do you have going on for yourself that's going to be able to sustain you? The most important thing is food, clothes, and shelter. So you take a fall into the trench in a desert, but you can't get out. And this is the same thing to be talking to youngsters about, but they're not trying to pay, your brother man more his life, not mine. They want to keep doing what they're doing, and they're going to learn it the hard way. But yeah, I think it's time to plan for the so-called natural desire. All the people living by the beach, and you can't move. I would advise you to move somewhere else. There's things that people don't acknowledge. Now, everybody has a pager on their waist. That's mainly used for doctors and stuff. But when you decide to make a move and change for the better, it's going to be hard for other people to see. Because your mind's already made up. You know, you got people doing, it's just sleeping all day, doing nothing positive. But being a menace to society, and that's what it is. So, while you over here waiting on your coach to call you in the game and you're just for a substitution, that means you're just nothing but a rebound. The rebound is when you lose possession, but someone else picks it up and then try to score. Only if you knew how people would be and how people would act, you wouldn't want to be around them, because you see their habits and you can see that there's no honor amongst thieves and there's no honor in it. There's no honor amongst enemies who portray to be friends. So now the question is, what are you gonna do when the money well runs dry? So, process of elimination. Pick your friends. Yeah, so now we gotta do what we gotta do. Yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do, family. All right, about to close out the motion, make a prayer. Allah, the Father, universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation. But I am by the atheist, Jwali. I mean, Islam. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Peace and love.